pretty good, man. Everything is in the right mode. Again, if you need to adjust our volume when we're talking, you can turn the volume knob, okay? All right, boss, I'm going to go ahead and close this door for you here.
Thanks, Matt.
Adjust your mirrors and save your seat as well, okay?
Yep, got it.
All right, so Blake, Catherine, and Colin, if you can hear me, give me a thumbs up outside of the driver's side window. Wonderful. Catherine, you got me? Catherine? Catherine? All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go on ahead and start to roll to the racetrack in just 1 second here. Let's all go on ahead and make sure we have our seatbelt on, so double check that for me. If you've got your seatbelt on, roll up both the driver and passenger side window.
Well, the first 2.5 minutes aren't very exciting, that's for sure. I have no doubt that's going to change.
All right, so again, welcome to our 2-day Corvette Owner School here. We're going to have a lot of fun throughout the next 2 days. We'll be rolling out to the racetrack in just 1 second. It's important that we're nice and patient this first time on the track. I'm sure we can all drive a lot faster than what we're going to drive in this first session. This session is all about learning the racetrack. It will be your only opportunity to see the racetrack from a slower perspective. As we're getting ready to roll here, let's push in on the brake, pull up on the D for drive, and then click the M. So again, that M should be illuminated red. That indicates you're in manual mode. And then Blake, Catherine, and Colin will start rolling together as a group heading over towards our track entrance. As we're rolling here, again, welcome to our Corvette Owner School. You're going to be in this same car throughout both days on the racetrack. And any time that you're in your car here at Spring Mountain as a student, you do have authority to roll through these stop signs. So I'll double check and make sure that the path is clear for us. And then we're going to go on ahead and make a right through this first stop sign we'll see, heading over towards our track entrance. At all times on the racetrack, I will be on the correct racing path or correct racing line at all times. So if you are confused on where you should be at or what you should be doing, again, I will be the leader at all times and I will be on the correct line. That is where we want you to be driving. That is the fastest way around the racetrack and also the safest way around the racetrack. If you try to make up your own racing line or start to try to do your own thing, that's when things kind of start to go bad. So again, at any time, if you're the car immediately behind me, I'll make sure that I'm on the racing line for you and you can kind of follow in like tracks in the snow. If you're one of the cars farther back, keep your eyes up, look ahead, plan for what's coming up next. The car in front of you might not be doing things correctly, and you have to drive your own car at all times. As we're rolling underneath the Michelin Bridge here, we have to taxi over towards our north racetrack. So again, have to taxi along here. On the racetrack, we're going to ask that you guys have 5 to 6 car lengths of distance apart from each other. Let's all go ahead and click that right paddle. That'll get us up into 2nd gear. Click it one more time. That'll get you up into 3rd gear there. You'll see what gear you're in the middle of your instrument cluster. But again, as we're rolling around here, we talked about the cones a little bit. This is an apex cone. That's that orange cone with the green sleeve on it. You want to be right by those. Now, a near apex cone looks like this white cone with the pink sleeve on it. You want to be 3 feet off of that one. So again, that's just about 3 feet for us there. As we're coming up to our track entrance, this is the entrance to our north racetrack here. We're going to let that other group get a little bit farther down the road before we start to take off and accelerate onto the track, so that way we don't catch them and have interruptions. Remember, at all times, we need to be 5 to 6 car lengths apart from each other. The worst thing you can tell me at the end of this session is, I know what the back of a C8 looks like. That's not the point. We want you to learn the racetrack. So scan ahead, plan for what's coming up next, and again, keep your vision moving at all times. So Blake, Catherine, and Colin, we're going to start rolling onto the track. Let's click the right paddle to get to 2nd gear, one more time to 3rd, and then again to 4th. As we're coming onto the racetrack, we have to respect this blend line. That's this white dotted line that's to the right side of us here. That helps you merge with traffic. As we're entering here, the first corner we're going to see is turn at number 3. We have that braking cone back there where you'll be braking. Click the left paddle down to 3rd, and you can see that medium height orange cone. At that medium height orange cone, you want to start to turn. You want to come down and touch this red and white curbing by our cone, and then again, start to unwind away from there up to 4th gear. As we're making our way down the hill, remember guys, we want to be 5 to 6 car lengths apart from each other. Our whole point of this is to learn the racetrack, so let's start to correct that car spacing. And as we make our way down the hill, again, we can start to see some of these apex cones and where we need to be. You want to be touching that red and white curbing just before the cone, riding it past the cone, and then starting to come off of the curbing. As we're making our way into turn number 4, we'll be braking, downshift to 3rd, come out to the middle of the road, and then continue adding left steering and touch down to your red and white curbing by the apex cone. Nice and straight for what we call the launch here, where this is this uphill area. You'll upshift to 4th gear, and then again, we're looking at the beginning of this right curbing and turning in for turn 5. At the beginning of the left curbing here, you'll be braking. This puts you right by your turning cone for turn number 5A. You'll turn in, ride the curbing in this long duration apex out towards our turn in cone for 5B, and turning in back to the right for 5B. Again, you want to be using the curbing by the cone and then unwinding the steering away from there. As we're making our way down the hill, we'll still be in 4th gear. You want to clip this kink in the road at the apex cone, and then again staying on the right as you brake. Slow the car down, looking to the left, stay in 4th gear, touch your curbing, and then again braking, downshifting to 3rd. And now we're going to do our first rotation here on our straightaway. So clipping our apex here, Blake, and then Blake, I'm going to have you pull to the right. This is our rotation zone. You can see those 2 tall orange cones. Catherine, you're going to come over behind me, and Colin following in with the silver car, and then Blake slowing down. You're going to follow in behind the red 12. Wonderful. We'll be in 3rd gear here as we're braking for turn number 1. This is turn number 1. You want to be nice and tight down to your apex here, Catherine. Out to the middle, back into the right, nice and tight. And then again, accelerating up to 4th gear, to the left here for our next apex in turn 2, and then unwinding all the way to the right side. That helps you carry that momentum out of the corner. Heading back over to the left, and then again, at our braking cone, it says brake on it. You're going to brake, downshift to 3rd, get to the turn-in cone here, turn the car in. Again, continuing to add steering, touch the red and white curbing by the cone, and then unwind away from the corner. Upshift to 4th gear again here, Catherine. And then on the brakes at this apex, past our near apex. You want to be 3 feet. And then again, nice and tight to the next apex. There you go, looking good. Now just connect these apexes together, just like dots, as you make your way down the hill. And again, on the brakes, downshift to third, looking left. Everyone look to the left here. You'll see the apex cone. That's where you need to be driving and placing your car in a few seconds. And my car's right on that curbing. Upshift to fourth before the launch. Stay on the right side, keep that wheel straight up the launch. Turn in at the beginning of this right curbing. And then again, on the brakes at the beginning of this left curbing here. Again, stay in fourth gear here for turn 5A. You want to be nice and tight. A little bit of throttle will help you bring your car back out to the turn in. Brake, downshift to third, and nice and tight to the right apex. And again, unwinding and accelerating back up to fourth gear. Stay over towards the left and then come across the kink in the road to the right. That'll help you do that at full throttle later on. On the brakes at the beginning of the right curbing, again, look for your turning cone. Look down to your apex, braking firmly, downshift to third, looking right. Right, Catherine, we're going to do our rotation here again on the straightaway. So Catherine, pull to the right in our rotation zone here, please, and slow down for me. You're going to fall all the way to the back behind the blue car. Colin and Blake, keep going here. Again, we'll be in third gear, and Catherine, you'll be behind that blue car. And as we fall into turn at number 1, nice and tight to the inside, out to the middle, back to the right again. And then again, get your eyes up, upshift to fourth gear, nice and tight to the left, and then unwind. Let the momentum flow out to this right side curbing, and then again, working our way back over towards the left. Braking at our brake cone nice and firm. Start to reduce the pressure, downshift to third. Again, turning in, adding steering, touching the red and white curbing at the cone, and then unwinding. Upshift to fourth. And then again, at our apex cone, you want to be on the brakes, off of our near apex, and then nice and tight to the next apex to the right here. Perfect. And now just connect the dots, Colin, as we're making our way down the hill. To left, and then right, and then on the brakes, near apex to 3 feet. Downshift, nice and wide, out about halfway, and then back down to the left for your apex. Keep the steering wheel straight for the launch. Upshift to fourth gear at the bottom of the hill. And again, turning in at the beginning of the right curbing, and then braking at the beginning of the left curbing here. Slowing the car, looking down to our long duration apex here in turn 5. A little bit of throttle out to the turn-in cone. Brake, downshift, back in, and then unwind. And again, back up to fourth gear as we're leaving the corner here, Colin. And again, come across the kink in the road. Stay on the right side after it, on the brakes, looking down to the left as you slow the car. Flip your apex, and again, on the brakes, downshift to third. Colin, we're going to be doing a rotation again here on the straightaway, down to our apex, and then again, I'm going to have you pull to the right, Colin, in our rotation zone. Blake, you'll be behind me. Catherine, you'll follow the blue car. And Colin, you're going to be all the way behind the silver 27. Blake, we're going to go on ahead and pick up the pace a little bit here. So as we're coming into turn number 1A, on the inside, nice and tight. Out to the middle, back into the right, nice and tight. Upshift to fourth. And then unwind, let the momentum flow. Nice. Upshift to fifth. And now at our brake cone, that's that orange cone that says brake. Brake, downshift, all the way to third, and again, turning in, adding steering down to the curbing. Don't turn too fast. And now unwind, up to fourth again. And then again, at our apex cone, you're going to be on the brake, off the near apex, and back into the right, nice and tight. There you go, just connect the dots as we're making our way down the hill here. And again, on the brake, downshift to third, looking left, out to the middle here. The middle, back down to the left, and then keep the steering wheel straight for the launch. Shift to fourth. And again, at the beginning of the right curbing, turning in, and at the beginning of the left curbing, braking firmly. Stay in fourth gear. Nice and tight to the right curbing, out to the turning cone, braking early, down to third, and back into the right. Again, unwind. The momentum flow. Straight. Again, up to fourth, and coming across the kink in the road. And and then braking at the beginning of the right curbing. Let's come off the pressure, looking down to the left, and then braking firm for turn number 7. Blake, we're going to do another rotation. So Blake, pull to the right. And so way down for me, Blake, you're going to fall in behind the red 12. And now, Catherine, you'll be behind my white, number 94. And Colin, keep following the silver car. Blake, you'll be behind the red 12 there. Wonderful. Catherine, third gear as we're coming into turn number 1. Alright, again, Catherine, keep your head up. Look ahead of you. Plan for what's coming. Upshift to 4th here. Again, 4th gear, and then at the braking cone, start to look ahead of you, Catherine. Get your eyes up a little bit. I see the turning cone here. And I want to turn in at that cone, continue to add steering, should be in 3rd gear, flip your apex, and then unwind off of there. Great job. Upshift to 4th, and then again, add our apex on the brake, off of the near apex, looking down to the right, and keep your eyes up. There you go. So again, looking left here, Catherine, as you're slowing down to 3rd, look to the left. Again, I can see that apex cone. That's that orange cone with the green sleeve on it. I want to get right down to it. So again, keep your eyes up. You know you have to position your car by that. So once you see that, start to plan ahead and start to turn the wheel down to that cone. Again, here in turn 5, I'm looking through the left side of my windshield. I can see that medium height orange cone. I want to be braking in this area and looking right now. Look right, pick up these apexes. Right down here is where you're looking. Now again, I want to be nice and wide here for our turn in. Look right, you'll see the apex. Again, turning in, nice and tight to it. There you go. Again, plan ahead for what's coming up next. Over here, looking to the right, I see my apex. Again, nice and tight to it. And now I know I need to be braking. I see my turn in, I'm looking to the left, see my apex, there you go, looking good, Catherine, down to the apex, and then again, on the brakes, left, and then look right, scan ahead, perfect, great job. Alright, Catherine, I'm going to have you pull to the right for me, great job. So pulling over to the right, you're going to fall in behind the blue number 123 car, behind the blue 123, fall in, slow down for me a little bit more. And Colin, you're going to be behind me now. Again, we'll get to 3rd gear. We'll stay in 3rd gear here. And Colin, you want to be nice and tight. Out to the middle, back down to the right. Upshift to 4th. On the right. On the exit here, on the right. Perfect. Stay in 4th gear down the straightaway. Looking good. Keep your eyes moving, guys. On the brakes. Downshift to 3rd gear. Again, looking to the right, plan for your apex, keep adding steering, touch the curbing just before, and unwinding. Nice job. And again, on the brakes here, Colin, back down to the right apex, and then connect the dots. So we make our way down the hill here, Colin. Good. Use these red and white curbs. And again, braking, looking left. As you slow down to 3rd gear, to the left, pick up your apex cone, that's where you need to be placing your car. And again, nice and straight for the launch, up to 4th gear. At the beginning of this right curbing, Colin, you'll start to turn in. And at the beginning of the left on the brakes. Again, nice and tight to the right curbing. And then out to the turning cone. Again, brake early. Downshift to 3rd. And then back in. Great job. Unwinding up to 4th gear. And then again, don't go straight for the kink in the road. Come to the left and then come across it. There you go. You'll be able to do that full throttle when you're going at speed now because of that line, Colin. Great job. On the brakes coming into turn 7, nice and early. Downshift to 3rd, looking down to the right. Alright, great job, Colin. We're going to go on ahead and rotate again. So Colin, pulling to the right for me, please. Slow down. Blake, you'll be behind me. Catherine behind the blue car. And then, again, Colin, you'll be behind the silver 27. Awesome job. We're going to go ahead and get our cars into fourth gear. So everyone click that right paddle for me to fourth gear, please. We're going to go around the racetrack on just a cool down lap from our session. So again, a cool down lap, just taking it easy around the racetrack here. Maintain the racing line though at all times to give you a perspective, kind of going slower and seeing where you need to go. So Catherine, you can see how far away you are from some of those apexes there. It's important that we're looking farther down the road and planning for where our car is going to be in about 4 to 5 seconds. If I just stare right in front of my car about 10 feet, it's going to be surprise after surprise after surprise. I want you to be able to plan ahead, look for what's coming, and again, be able to place your car accordingly. So here in turn at number 3, again, I know I got to be by the cone, and then I got to start to unwind. I want to be about 2/3 out here. Heading back to the right, look at this curbing, and then again, this kind of drops away from us here in the road. So you want to slow the car down early, and that way you can get the car over the hill and have steering so you can hug this next apex. Again, keep your eyes up through this section, windy section of the road, look down the road, try to plan what's coming up ahead of you. We'll stay in fourth gear, but for our bold turn here in turn 4, you want to be out about to the middle of the road, looking down to the left, using the driver's side window. It's important that we're using those driver and passenger side windows to place our car accordingly. For the launch, it's important you're keeping the steering wheel straight. And then again, in 5A and B, it's important your vision has to move fast here in 5A and B. I see the turn-in cone. That's this little medium orange height cone here. And then I look down to the right, I can see my apexes, and I know I got to be to those apexes, so I'm nice and tight to them. And I got to get back out to the turn-in. And then I got to follow back down to my apex. Once I pass the apex, I want to make the road as straight as I can, so I start to straighten the wheel. And then again, for our kink in the road, don't go straight for it. Come over to the left and then come across the kink in the road, so that way you can carry good speed through here. You'd be braking through this area normally, looking down to the left, and then turn number 7 is blind. We're in turn 6 here. Turn 7 is blind, so you need to be on the brake early into turn 7, getting the car slowed as you go over this off-camber area, and then you again want to be faster down the longer straightaway here, so, and starting that unwind away. As we're coming off the racetrack, let's get our left turn signals on. So ladies and gentlemen, left turn signals, please. If you need to exit the racing surface for any reason, this is where you do that. You need to use your left turn signal, and then you're going to cut through our cones and through our barrier here. Again, this is our track exit. Overall, great job. We'll cancel those turn signals. Let's all go on ahead and hit the stop recording button on our performance data recorder. So